Right here we have a sandbar arise in sand like in an underwater island. Right here we have shoaling when the water becomes shallow, and it's very important for the boaters because they could get their boats stuck in the sand and from low tide. And it's important because the Costa Concordia cruise ship, you probably heard about the crash because during high tide they were sailing over the rock, but they went at low tide and they hit that rock and it made the boat sink, unfortunately. But I think a lot of people were okay. Right here we have a wake. It's a wave left behind a ship. Right over here we have a whirlpool of rapidly spinning water, also called a vortex. See, right here we have the dune or the berm right here, and there's like grass right here, and this protects the houses from beach erosion, and that's why it's all up in this area. It's up on an incline. It slopes up to prevent the waves from coming up, and then it dips down like a tidal pool and then it dips back up again. Okay, we're right here near the berm and the spray zone right here. This is when really high tide, like during storm surge, this gets covered. We might see that if we come here a few times during a storm. And also the beachgoers like to be in this area, came down with the rake, and the beachgoers, the volleyballers like to come here, and they have bonfires, fire pits over here. Okay, right here we have the middle tide zone right here. This is usually a nice area for sitting. Most people like to sit here because they're not too close to the water that they won't get hit by water, but during high tide this gets covered, but during normal tides and low tide it's all sand right here. Okay, right here we're near the middle tide zone. You can see right before this afternoon we were sitting with our chairs right over here, but now you can see the water got all the way up to here. So the waves, the high tide now at 8:30 p.m. Okay, right here we have the low tide zone right here. This is where the waves crash right here. It's usually, that's called, the water is usually covers the ground right here, the sand, but unless it's super low tide, then the water goes out. But during high tide, it can go all the way where the people are sitting. You can see right there, that's a swash or a flood tide. That's when the tide rushes ashore. You can see it's rushing ashore, and then when it goes back outside, that's a ebb tide or a backwash. The water pulls out. You can see right there, there's a wave period right there, or a wave length. That's from when one crest, the top of the wave, reaches the other wave, and the bottom of the wave is called the trough. Okay, here in the winter time, you can see there's more rocks, more beach erosion, and a rockier berm in the winter time. And when there's less beach right here, this affects the business, because when there's not much beach, there's not many people can't sit on the beach, so they don't go to this beach. They go to somewhere else where the beach is much longer, where they dredge the beach. And in the summertime, it's better because the beach, it's low tide, and you get a longer beach. You can see right here in the summertime we have calmer waves and more sand and a wider berm. It's supposed to be high tide right now, or going towards high tide. The waves are getting rough. You can tell this is high tide right there. There's always someone standing right where the high tides are crashing. Whoa, check out that wave right there. That's like a 5-foot wave. You can see the first high tide's not until 7:47. Our first low tide was already at 1:51 a.m. 1:30 will be low tide, and 8 o'clock tonight will be high tide again. Okay, we're here at the beach, and it's about, according to this, it's probably about 11 o'clock right now, because sunrise 5:45, around 6 a.m. and it sets at about 8:30. So that's about a 12-hour distance of sunlight we get a day, 13 to 12, so half of that is 6 hours. So 6 hours, it'll be noon at the top, so it's actually 12:14. You can see right now this is low tide. Every 6 hours you get a difference between high to low tide. So tonight at 6 p.m. it'll be high tide again. Okay, you can see the tide's coming in. It's about 4 o'clock now. Wow, great night to be on the beach. Look at that. Look at that full moon right there. Is that a shot or what? Look at the water, it's red. That's amazing. It's high tide now at 8:30. Whoa. Wow, check out that sunset on the bay. and the crepsicola rang. Wow, check out that sunset right there. Wow, you can see the ocean lit up. Whoa, check that out. Whoa, you can see the whole ocean's lit up. 8 o'clock now, we're waiting for the moon to rise up like last night, any minute now. Check this out, it says the moon doesn't rise till 8:45 tonight. Yesterday was 8:30, and look, tomorrow not till 9:30, 10 o'clock. We have about 2 minutes towards the moon rise, according to Siri. 8:45 on the dot, wow, Siri was correct, there's the moon. It's gonna start to head up. Wow, check that out. Wow, check it out. Okay, it's above the water now. Okay, we're going to tell you about the types of waves. Some waves could get up to 60 feet, and it's from the wind and the gravitational force on Earth and the sun and the moon. Mostly the moon because it's much closer to us, even though the sun is much larger. We have a semi-diurnal tides right here on the east coast. That means we have 2 high tides and 2 low tides, 6 hours apart from high to low and 12 hours apart from high to high or low to low. And on the west coast, they have a mixed diurnal waves. That means they have higher than normal tides and lower than lower normal tides. And also in Bay of Fundy, they have the highest tidal range in the world. Right now we have high tide at about noon, 12 o'clock noon. The other day it was low tide about a week ago, but high tide to low tide is from 6 hours and about 25 minutes a day, so it changes every day, the tides. It's not at 11 a.m. every day. Okay, right now we have a rip current. We're going to talk about rip currents. We're going to tell you about whenever you get stuck in a rip current, don't go against it, and you don't want to get out because it cause you to get out of breath, but you want to stay calm, tread the water, and go parallel with the water. You want to stay calm and flag the lifeguard down. And if you see your friend or someone there, don't try to rescue them because you could get stuck too. You want to call a lifeguard or call the police or something.